Well, hey, what is up? Welcome back. This is Freed's first time. I am Freed. If you're new to the channel, I'm just your average fella that likes to talk about whiskey, music, and laugh. Something you like too? Please consider subscribing, or at the very least, give me a thumbs up. But if you stick around to the end, I'll be giving every whiskey that I review a music pairing, because I feel as if music and whiskey are just meant to be together. Today we are checking out some Scottish single malts from the islands, the Orkney Islands to be specific. Highland Park. Everyone knows Highland Park. We're going to be comparing, this is essentially the same liquid, but 12 years old and 10 years old. Now, when doing some research on the Orkney Islands, it's a pretty amazing place. Like, if you ever get a chance to at least just go to the Wikipedia page and read up on the Orkney Islands, dude, they've seen some shit. I know Highland Park is kind of leaning into the whole Viking thing, but they were only there for the 8th and 9th century. And I get it, it's marketable. Why not? Let it go, let it happen. And the Vikings just used that area for a pirating hub, basically. And that whole story is really, really cool. But man, there were humans there in 8500 BC. That is a long time ago, so if you ever get a chance to read up on the history of the Orkney Islands, man, do it, because that shit is cool. And honestly, 25% of the people living on the 20 inhabitable islands of the Orkney archipelago have Norwegian ancestry, which is cool, so they're still there. So a quick closer look at these 1 to 10, and that is called the Viking Scars, and the one is the 12, and that is called the Viking Honor. Now, as you can see, there is a large ornate bottle in front of you, and it would be cool if the 10 and the 12 were different, but they're not. Well, the embossed parts are not. They're exactly the same. I looked at them quite closely. But the 10 is going with the blue-gray motif, and the 12 is going with the red. But yeah, I'm gonna get these into my glasses. Oh, and the cork on this rotted and broke, so if you notice that, I got an eagle eye, that's why. I know, Stinky, I know, buddy. He's even sober right now, and he's being a jerk. So as I mentioned before, these are they are the same liquid. They were both aged in American and European oak, seasoned with sherry. Now, I know that just means like they put sherry into the barrels for a small amount of time, just to impart a little bit of flavor, but I can't help but think of that Salt Bay dude just going this with some sherry. I don't know, my brain is just doesn't work that way. So I'm just gonna go one at a time and tell you what I think. The 10-year-old is only 40%, unfortunately, but the 12-year-old that I have, it does come in 40%, but fortunately I have the 43%er. So already in my mind, there's a leg up on the 12er. And I've been through a bottle of the 12 before, and I enjoyed it. I really liked it, but it was really early in my whiskey life. So I'm anxious to give it another go and have another drink through of it and see if it's still in chow. Right on. So on the nose for the 10, which is a little bit more expensive, oddly enough. I think it's, what is it, like 40 bucks? And the 12 is like a 35 bucks. Great prices either way. Really, really good. But a shitty thing that I probably should have mentioned before is I don't think the 10-year-old's available stateside.
You bitch!
Cool, moving forward, on the 10-year-old, on the Huer. It's, okay. Dude, it's like they built a candy shop in the middle of a campsite. I'm getting so many just candy notes, like Smarties, and like sour gummies. Saltwater taffy. Like a floral caramel. New leather. Some lemony citrus things. And like a floral peat with just a little bit of smoke spritzed throughout. Not much at all. It's a good nose. I like it. Cool. Well, let's check it out on the palate. Come back. It's a little thin, which is unfortunate. You get a bit of a spice on the mid palate, like a barrel spice. Definitely some maritime notes. as you'd expect. A little bit of a sherry element to it, which probably comes from the aforementioned seasoned barrels. It's a bit foresty, like some like woody, mossy, dense, moist forest. Ooh, I said it. Forgive me. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it would definitely do with a higher ABV. I think if they put out, even just making it 43% like they did the 12 would be beneficial for this, I think. The finish itself is a bit short. It's a bit dry. I'm getting a bit of basement notes, and some pencil shavings, and a little bit of ash. Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's good, don't get me wrong, but I think I just expected more. Right on. Well, I wish I had some water. I'm gonna get some water. All right. All right, on to the 12. Now, as you can see, and as I mentioned before, they are both natural color, and I know the levels are a bit different, but you can see that the 12 is a shade darker, which is to be expected. It's 2 years older. Makes complete sense. All right, so let's check out the 12-year-old on the nose. Malty. I'm getting some of that saltwater taffy here as well. It just seems denser. I'm getting some like overripe pineapple, stewed apples. That floral peat's still there. The spice is still there. Way less smoke. I mean, like little to none. Well, if you dig for it, you'll find it. But it's pretty subtle compared to that one, that one's subtle as well. But this one's even more. It is floral, but it's a bit softer. It is a bit softer on the nose, which that comes with age. It rounds itself off. Right on. So, there's that on the palate. Come back. See, just at 3%, it's a mountain difference. It's mountains of difference. There's a lot more heft. There's more weight behind the flavors. And here the flavors are there, but they're just hollow. But here there's some substance. There's some weight, heft behind the flavors, which is great. Caramelized apple, like caramel cream apple. Like a natural cough drop, like jammed inside of a circus peanut. Some like a if you stewed red apples in like a bourbon, if that helps at all. Like, and I'm getting a bit of like an appley butter type of thing. The mouthfeel is better. It's just all around on the palate superior. The finish is basically the same, just a hair longer. Like, remember all the notes that I said on this one, and it's there. It's just hangs out. I won't say a lot longer, but longer. So I'm at a crossroads, dude. It's really strange. Like, I really prefer the nose on the 10, but I greatly prefer the palate on the 12. As far as price goes, not sure if I mentioned it. I think that, unfortunately, you can't get the 10 in the States. Not sure if I mentioned that already. But if you can, the markup will probably be just stupid. But on the normal, international websites, this is probably about $40-45, and this one's probably like $30 to $40. Great prices for both of them, if I'm completely honest. But the 10-year-old's cheaper. Or sorry, more expensive. The 10-year-old's more expensive. But if I had to lean, if you put a gun to my head and I actually had to go for it, I would go for the 10 because I am an olfactory-centric person. The nose is very important to me. And the palate difference isn't so great to where I would just disregard the 10 completely. So there's similarities to the point to where I would continue with this because the nose is so good. I hope that makes sense. So if you're waiting in line trying to buy one of these, I would go with the 10 personally. I just wish they would kick it up to a higher ABV. Well, right on. Well, that's that. Music time. What do you think would pair well with these two things? Well, I picked a 1977 punk song. Who knew punk was going on back then? Who knew the Orkney Islands had people on it? 8500 BC. It's Neat 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 by The Damned, 1977. It's fun, it's quick, it's catchy. It's during a period of time where disco was supreme and you just didn't know people were making music like this. Just like this distillery from the 1700s didn't know they were making things like this. So, pour a glass, have a listen, enjoy yourself. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.